What is up? Welcome to my YouTube channel and my first video. My name is Peyton. I've been a day trader for a couple years now and have been finding a lot of success. So on this channel, we're going to be going over daily trade recaps, what trades I took, what I was thinking, my thought process throughout the trade, why I did what I did, all for free. We're also going to be doing other videos on my strategy, how I view the market, issues I think I have with the industry, and so on and so forth. So let's get right into it, starting off on QQQ. I actually trade futures, so I'm trading ES and NQ, but I actually use QQQ and SPY for all of my charting, and I use TradingView. So the first trade on QQQ, what were we thinking going into the morning? So every morning I mark out my supply and my demand zones. I am a zone trader. If you guys are coming to this channel wanting to learn ICT, golden bullet, liquidity sweep, like all these kind of like complicated concepts, I don't trade that way. I trade a lot simpler, and I trade a lot more easy to understand, in my opinion. And that's what I want to do with this channel, is I want to show you guys how simple trading really can be once you understand how the wheels kind of turn. And yeah, so first thing I did in the morning was mark out my prior day low zone and my prior day high zone from the previous day. These are two huge areas of confluence that nobody really talks about, that pretty much are respected every day and can give a good idea of where price wants to go throughout the day. So I marked out prior day low, prior day high, and then I went on the hourly and I marked out this level, and then this kind of level up here was our next real area. And then I marked out liquidity here on our way down to this zone. I marked out the liquidities as kind of a price target area so that I can trim on the way down if we do get a trade. I actually marked these two out, I think, when I was going to enter the trade. So now, why were we thinking what we were thinking? So if we go to a lower time frame, like the 5 minute, you'll notice that as soon as we opened the day, we rejected that prior day low. We come back up and we get a little bit above. We ultimately reject that prior day low again. So it's about 9:30 right now. Now, what am I thinking? I'm thinking, okay, we've rejected prior day low once, prior day low again. So now at this point, I'm bearish. We've rejected a key zone twice, and it's looking like we want to go lower. So I'm thinking that I want to wait for a retest of this zone for an entry. So we, on the 5 minute, after we break it, we come back up to this zone here, to the area, and if you look at our volume, it's actually decreasing, which means buying pressure is getting taken out. It's getting lowered on this way up. Buyers are fizzling out. Now, also a big part of my strategy is EMAs. Now, I know a lot of guys online, like gurus, people you guys probably watch, say EMAs are bullshit. Don't use EMAs. That's for idiots. That's for beginners. Guys, that's bullshit. EMAs are great micro areas of supply and demand and a great confluence to be using along with your other areas. So, reject the zone, come back up to the retest of the zone, while also rejecting VWAP, the 9 EMA, and the 8 EMA. So all of these things happening right here, rejection of all the EMAs, we're still below the 200 EMA and we're below our zone, so I enter. Targeting my next lower zone with these two blue lines as liquidity to trim. So we get volume picks up, we get a really nice push down and made a nice bag on that trade for the day. Very, very simple stuff, guys. Honestly, the more simple you trade, the easier it's going to get. Like, we reject our zone, we reject it again, we come back up on weaker buying pressure to the zone, combined with the EMAs, and we make a nice move down. So that was the trade on QQQ for the day. Now, going over our SPY trade for the day, or ES for that matter. Same thing as QQQ pre-market. I'm marking out prior day high zone, prior day low zone, and then I'm going on the hourly and marking out our next key confluence, which I found was like this area, and then below was this area. So on a lower time frame like the 5 minute, I notice the beginning of the day, we come down to this zone and get a really big push up, like very strong reaction to this prior day lower zone, and we actually break the prior day high and we go way past it. So what am I thinking right now? Well, I'm thinking we've just reacted off our lower zone, broken our higher zone, so I'm definitely bullish and I'm definitely looking for a pullback to our zone for longs. So initially right here we get a pullback to our zone and we get a push up, but the reason why I didn't like this trade and why I didn't enter right here is because we were below the 9 and the 13 EMA on the 2 minute. Typically, I always like for us to be above that if I'm going to go long and below that if I'm going to go short, because for me, I've just found in my strategy that's what's key, and those confluences just work really well with how I like to trade zones. So yeah, so then immediately too, I saw this massive fair value gap and this massive imbalance right here. I'm sure you guys are, somewhat familiar with that, which means in this big area where there's this big wick, it means that there's a lot of buy orders down there that didn't get filled. And what happens when that happens is price is going to react to it and it's going to push up. So on the 2 minute, I saw us get these nice candles, this nice reaction in the middle of our zone. And as soon as we overtook the 9 and the 13 EMA right here, I decided to enter long. Now, as you guys can see, we didn't make that full move up to our zone. So you guys are probably thinking, okay, well, you probably got stopped out when it came down here. No, that's not the case. And the reason why I don't get stopped out on the majority of my trades is because I know how to manage my risk really well. And how I manage my risk is a lot of times I'll use that same 9 and 13 EMA as my trailing stop. So for example, this whole way up, we're holding that EMA and we get a push up to here, then we break it. And the reason why I didn't exit on this break is because it was pretty early in the trade. At this point, I was still going to use, this as my stop loss, but we continue to consolidate and we continue to have low buying volume down here on the green candles. So once we broke it again over here, I decided to exit my full position for a little bit of profit instead of getting stopped out down here. So just because you don't make that full zone, that full move to your take profit, doesn't mean that you can't manage your risk, guys. And yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for the video. I hope that was value. I hope that gave some value to some of you. And yeah, I know my setup is really dog shit right now, and I know I'm not very good at making videos, but that's going to change with time, because every single day I'm going to be showing you guys exactly the trades I took, exactly what I was thinking, so that I can learn more myself and become better, because in trading there's always more to learn, there's always more to improve on, and so that you guys can also see somebody transparent showing you how they trade differently than a lot of people online. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a good rest of your day.